Now, to a sad story that is still developing, the death of Kobe Bryant. I mean, this is making headlines on the top page of both the business, all papers, the Business Daily, the Standard, the Daily Nation. The Daily Nation says Bryant's death sends shockwaves beyond NBA. World honors basketball legend and culture icon killed in plane crash. And I saw Eliud Kipchoge actually, and many other people online giving their tribute and just talking about the mentality that they all loved and were inspired by. And then we have on the Standard, we're told Kobe daughter and basketball passion that lived on to their death. They're actually going to a game that the kid was actually going to be participating in, and the coach, I think, was also in that plane with a teammate who also died. Gone too soon is the headline on the Business Daily. They say Kobe Bryant, sports stars, celebrities pay tribute to the basketball legend, and clearly, truly, he was 41 years old. His daughter was 13. The other people in the crash are also quite young, and definitely they did leave the world too soon. What do you make of it?
Very unfortunate, sad. Our condolences to the family, friends, and relatives, and of course the lovers of basketball.
Basketball, yeah.
I think for me, a lot of things come to fore. One is what really caused the crash. What are the underlying issues? I think probably there would be need to initiate an investigation.
At least bring closure.
Exactly, yeah. So that then, because this really is going to be quite something that people will be talking about for a long time, especially because basketball is a sport, and sport has a way of sports has a way of bringing people together, and people have an identity. And so there are people who probably were motivated to be basketballers because of Kobe Bryant, and then there could be young ladies, young girls out there who are saying, when I grow up, I want to be like Yana Maria, and they are saying, suddenly it's over. So what does that mean to them?
Yeah,
so,
and that relationship that inspired so many as he was trying to nurture her into a future basketball champion, I think it also inspired a lot of parents, I'm sure, and kids who are looking to, you know, pursue sports as an option for a career path.
And that really brings me to the second thing, which is talent, how we nurture our talents, you know, among young children. In Kenya, unfortunately, we are among the best sportsmen and women in, well, all over the world. But unfortunately, our mentorship networks and policy, if I could call it, both at national and county levels, in terms of sports management, is really wanting.
Or if it's there at all.
Or exactly, is one that really needs a serious thinking process. Look at our sports. Gor Mahia is going down. AFC Leopards, I am told they now have a bus, which is probably the only motivation. Which could be the only motivation that they have. And if you went all over, we have had our very promising national sports team going to countries where we are told they are sleeping inside buses, and the people, well-wishers,
or under benches at airports.
Yeah, it is an unfortunate scenario, and yet now we have this kind of a very sad occurrence that has taken place, and everybody, including people who are never passionate about basketball like myself, because I don't know whether dipping whether it's called a ball or whatever it is, dipping it inside that is what you call winning.
We are
and
on the same
steps.
boat,
but still you feel that actually this is sad, because it could happen to anyone. It could happen to any footballer, it could happen to any marathoner, it could happen to anyone. And so the third thing then is that how do we, as you rightfully said, bring closure to basketball lovers, to Kobe's family, and just the sports managers. Because people are also looking forward to how they are going to manage this. And beyond that, as a country, I think then it gives us an opportunity to relook through our sports policies, whether if at all we have one, and if there is none, then we need to begin conversations around what if similar things happen to our own people. We have had very promising, talented young people like Conjestina, you know, who have to make rallying calls on social media for Kenyans to come through for her. It is an unfortunate scenario. Look at the late Joe Kadenge, who was ailing, I used to meet him at a garage in South B, and he'd be there and he'd be saying, oh, mzungu mdogo, sasa sunisadia hata na ka 50 nikunywe kwa chai. It is an unfortunate, because when I was growing up, the only name that I used to hear was Joe Kadenge in soccer, and then suddenly I meet this gentleman who has like a small car written Joe Kadenge, and he's asking me for 50 bob, and I'm like, where is sports management in this country? And then suddenly he is under 6 feet under, gone like that, and you have all these politicians coming to donate millions.
For what now?
It is an unfortunate scenario. So I think that as we continue to send condolences to this legend of basketball, we need to also come back home and think through what if this would have been one of our top marathoners in this country. We have people who have gone, who are actually suffering from drug and substance abuse in this country. But look at, and they are sportsmen and sportswomen. How are we managing them?
Actually,
you know, what are the safe spaces that we have put in place as a country and as a people, as a government, to be able to safeguard
and we had
lives.
an NBA champion, I forget his name, but he did tour the region actually last year, and he said what he saw in terms of, he knows our champions, the runners and all that, but then what he saw in terms of the facilities, he was quite disappointed, because we can do better, and given what they bring into the country in terms of revenue, and even just the PR alone itself is quite great, and they deserve so much more than what they get.
So sports managers, please wake up, wake up, work with your people. Call
Would you
for
say it's government, county governments, should the civil society, who
sports
should
is
take...
actually a devolved function.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we have a Ministry of Sports and Culture with a full-fledged cabinet secretary. But one of the biggest challenges, which I think is an issue, and I'm saying this because we have participated in organizing for sports, for either for peace, for water, for whatever it is that people around whatever area that we're dealing with want done, especially young people. But even the confusion that exists between directors of sport at national level and county levels, you know, it can't be around money every time. It must be about the future of the young people in this country, and it has to be the legacy that you as a director of sports or of culture, of whatever you are, want to leave. So I think that one of the things that the CS needs to do is to have a stakeholders forum, whether a conference for sports, which has never happened in this country, but we've had confederations coming to Kasarani. We have had, was it Safari Rally? Is it coming or it's past? I think it's coming up. Kenya will be hosting, which were actually launched by His Excellency the President. I think those should be low-lying fruits that should give us an opportunity to have very candid, honest conversations around sports management and the future of the people who have raised this country to very higher levels of admiration through their sports involvement and talent.
Yeah, and I guess given that the daughter who had access, of course they are more privileged, so they would have access to, you know, training and what have you, but still in the school systems, I think we should revive the importance of tournaments and just maybe perhaps fund them better and keep a clean eye out on local talent.
And stop grabbing land meant for sports facilities at schools.
And they just assume it has nothing, it has no use, and therefore
but I think it's really, what you're raising is very fundamental, because even county governments need to begin putting resources for counties, you know, sports at county. We have interacted with counties where sports, for example, has a budget of, say, 100 million. But that money is managed by the office of the governor, and you know what they use it for? Saturday gallivanting, where you want to get a vehicle to go to this fundraising or that fundraising. So you charge the sports budget. It is an unfair thing, because otherwise you have young people whose interest is whatever sport, maybe soccer, and they don't have the balls, they don't have jerseys, they don't have the shoes,
you know,
equipment, you know, even training facilities. You know, it can't be people who belong to a football club contributing money to be able to buy themselves, like Kevin Osido has contributed to some teams, but it can't it can't be well-wishers. It has to be government interest, and that interest has to be evident in the manner in which you involve these people, including the amount of money that you allocate to be able to build their capacity. During electoral campaigns, we see them running around, even organizing tournaments. But it can't be until elections come that you begin to have conversations around which team is playing, and then you are there running with some balls to go and contribute, for which when they don't vote for you, you actually threaten to take back the jerseys. And I think
I would love to see, to live in a country where even collaborations with countries that have made it in terms of sports management, and just see what we can borrow or how we can work together with in terms of talent, equipment, even if it's their old stuff. I honestly think we really need.
Yesterday in one of your news, sports news, I was watching one of the iconic Nigerian players who is in town today, and he was talking about our under-17 actually in the next 5 years taking this country to the World Cup. And I was saying, why should it be a foreigner saying that? It should have been an insider, and it didn't have to take a foreigner to come to Kenya. But it's because a prophet sometimes is never accepted in, in his hometown. So we need those foreigners to actually come and tell us the beauty that exists in this country, which many times we don't see until when you go out of Kenya, then you say, yeah, I want to go back home. But then it has to be those kind of comments, and what they're seeing need to be eye-openers to us, and then so that we can have conversations around how do we make it better for the young people of this country.
Yeah, and let's take a look